Good afternoon. This is Kunzekweguta here, resilience coach and my mastermind mentor. I am so excited to be sharing this moment with you. I have got Lori May Chenger. She is a motivational hypnotherapist, and also she works with people who have got dementia. She will explain to you a little more about how she does it. This platform is called Echo of Yes, and it's a platform where people can talk about their services and also talk about what they're doing in their community as well as the world at large. So Lori May, it's nice to have you here. Could you please tell us or tell everybody a little bit more about yourself?
Good afternoon, Monica. It's really good to be here with you today. Yes, thank you for that great introduction. I am the owner of Echo of Yes, Motivational Hypnotherapy, and I also have a specialization in using hypnosis to work with individuals with dementia and Alzheimer's.
Okay, so today we'll probably next week you will tell us a little bit more about how you use hypnotherapy and to work with people who've got dementia, right?
Yes.
Yes, but specifically today we are going to talk about your writing journey, and so people need to know who this Lori May is and what's been happening and how did she get here. So how have you changed since you started writing or since you unleashed your passion for writing?
Well, that's a really good question. I've always been a writer at heart. It's like my second arm. People have always told me, boy, that's really good. You should write. And I would sit and do those things, and I've written a lot of poetry, but it wasn't until you prompted me to actually become that writer, mind, body, and spirit, that my life really started taking off in more creative ways.
Wow. So I just assumed that since you work in the teaching field, that should be, a no-brainer. You write and then you just get on with it.
Yes, but you really do have to have that connection. To say it is one thing, and then just to write it is another. But to actually put it all together, that's the key, and that's where the success is.
Oh, great. So you wrote your first chapter. Would you like to share a little bit more about what you talked about?
Yes, I talked about
how it actually transformed you.
I talked about my own life journey with resilience, and just being able to write that really put me into that momentum of writing and creativity, and knowing that I have something to share, the power of words with people, and to really get out there and to start sharing that voice.
That's amazing. So what have you done so far?
Well, I have just written a children's book to help children understand dementia. So, it all came together really quickly. So I think this is how you know when you're on your right journey and your right path. You feel it at all of those levels, and then things just happen.
That's amazing. It's funny you should say that. When you're doing something that you're totally aligned with, there's no resistance, and everything will just flow. The ideas and even people to help you achieve that will just show up.
Yes, and that was the amazing thing. I was a guest speaker for a company that is working with people with dementia and Alzheimer's. And I just happened to mention to somebody, we were standing around having coffee, and I said, oh, I've just written a book. And he said, oh, hey, I have a friend who's an illustrator.
Oh, wow.
So just that quickly, right?
Mm-hmm. So in this children's book, there's also illustrations to help children understand.
Yes, there'll be a lot of illustrations in very simple terms to help them grasp what it's like for maybe their grandparents or even their parents. And there's also a hands-on activity, an interactive activity that they'll be able to do with the individual as well.
That's really special, because often we don't think about how Alzheimer's, dementia, and all these illnesses where a person's life is changed. We think about ourselves and we think about other older people, but nobody really focuses on children and how much it affects them. We know that children are very close to their grandparents, and in essence, they are watching this amazing person that they've got a strong bond with disappear right in front of them, and not knowing what to do. They can see them, but they're not able to relate to them in the same way they used to do. So I think that's going to be a very valuable book.
Yes, thank you. And it was important for me to write it. And again, when you're on the right track, universe takes over. I'm a great believer in the universe is there to assist. So it just happened randomly. I couldn't sleep one night. I thought, I'm just going to journal. And then out of my journaling came this story.
Oh, that's great. So what would you say are the benefits of writing?
Well, the benefits are really very empowering for you as an individual, because it's really about being connected to yourself. And that's something that we're all looking for, and that's the basis of hypnosis and hypnotherapy as well, is to connect people back to who they truly are.
Okay. So also from a teaching background, could you add a little bit more about the benefits of writing?
Well, writing is a great communication tool because it's all about making that connection. People want to be validated and they want to be heard. So writing enhances that ability. It makes you stronger to be able to communicate.
That's great. I also learned quite a lot since I started writing as well. It helps you with focus. It helps you with your thought process as well. And it's therapeutic.
It is indeed. It's all of those things. And it's also about the brain and being able to keep those motor neuron pathways alive so that we can still have those portions of the brain alive and well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, so you had all these ideas, you wanted to write, you were already working in a field which was conducive to you doing your work, doing the writing, and emerging as this children's author.
Yes.
What was stopping you?
I wasn't connected in my heart, I think.
Right.
I knew that I wanted to do it. I knew that I could do it, but I wasn't focused on my own gift and my connection to myself. So in starting to write that piece that I did on resilience, it helped me come back to my true essence and my soul and my gifts of who I am.
Actually, I have the book right over there, Unbridled Strength.
Yes, and that's a great bridge for so many people that you've opened up that door to, and I think each and every one of them would probably share sentiments of how it's really opened up their life and given them clarity and meaning.
Oh, I'm glad I was able to just contribute a little bit into your journey. But now what I wanted to ask you again, you know, you mentioned hypnotherapy. I don't know whether,
yes.
Yeah. Do you find people struggling to link how you work with hypnotherapy and people with dementia, and
Yes,
how do you balance that
it's a struggle for
passion?
it's a struggle for both, because so many people, when you say the word hypnotherapy, they think of stage hypnosis.
Right.
And
Right.
so this is not stage hypnosis. So in simplest terms, hypnotherapy, if I asked you, what are empty calories? What would you say?
Empty calories. So you're just eating food with no calories at all? Is
Yes, so give me some examples of what that would be.
all right. Oh my goodness. Eating chaff.
Eating like chocolate, chips, pop, right? So those are empty calories. And in the world of hypnotherapy, our negative thoughts and our beliefs that no longer serve us, those are empty calories in the world of thought. So we don't need those anymore. And hypnotherapy helps make you that shift back to promising things to be able to tell yourself, so that you become not the inner critic, but the inner coach.
Okay. Okay.
And what hypnosis does for individuals with Alzheimer's and dementia is that when you're very relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a deep form of relaxation, when you enter out of that, you're so refreshed that you are now able to participate in daily living skills with a lot more ease.
Right. That sounds like a topic that we need to have a whole session by itself. Because
Yes.
I think our listeners will be so interested in finding out more about hypnotherapy, more about, sure, there are also people who are dealing with family members of dementia and want to know more about this. So this is something we'll talk about next week. So, but before we go, what advice would you give to the listeners regarding what we talked about today, regarding writing?
Well, regarding writing, I would say that writing is a really creative tool to be able to give yourself self-reflection, to connect yourself back to who you are. It's cheap, it's free. You just pick up a pen and you can do free flow writing, but it's a really good tool. You can express things. You can find beliefs that were hidden. So there's so many wonderful tools for it to be used.
That's great. I also found out when I started writing, the very first chapter was difficult for me. Well, it wasn't difficult in the sense that I didn't find anything to talk about, because I was sharing a true life story. So I was able to just let everything flow. My challenge was, what if people read my story? What if they think I'm not a good writer? What if they judge me? What if? And so I had that fear of coming outside and stepping out of my comfort zone and allowing people to know who I am. Because prior to that, in those early years, I was just pretending to be somebody else, just so I could hide. I could hide the pain I was carrying. I could hide the shame I was carrying, and that, so that I could fit in. But I think once you write, the first thing you do is to take off the mask, and then you become comfortable, and you're like, oh, okay, I quite like this. I think I'm going to write some more. So I'll carry on writing, and I've got another book coming up, and then compiling 2 children's books right now. I'm waiting for yours to be ready so that we can publish it as well. I'm excited about that, especially if it's a book that is really going to impact both children, adults, and their family members who are dealing with our dementia. And also, I'm just going to go back and say, this is Monica Kunzekweguta again, resilience coach and mastermind mentor. I have a Facebook group called Habits for Success. I'm also the owner of Authors Without Boundaries. We publish books, and so looking forward to anyone who might have any questions on any of that. So if you want to talk about coaching and about growth mindset, I'm here for you. If you want to have your book published, I'm here for you. If you start struggling with fear and hesitation about writing, we can work together. And also, Lori is just gonna finish off by saying who she is, and she'll tell you where you can find her. But you find me on my page, Monica Kunzekweguta, or Act to Grow, which is also a Facebook page, and then Habits for Success, which is my private Facebook page.
Even coaches need a coach, Monica, and I highly recommend you because you have been the instrument and the jumping board to get my passion out there and growing. So you can also reach me on Facebook at Lori May Hypnotherapy, so LORIMAY. So I'm on Facebook, or you can email me at the same address, LoriMayHypnotherapy@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for taking time to be on this platform, Yes to Success. We were going to be having these conversations regularly, and hope to transform and help people in their different life journeys. So we'll see you again next week.